True crime fans, what's a story where the killer got caught by sheer coincidence? This murderer didn't get caught for nearly 4 decades, but the whole story is a real trip. During a snowstorm in 1982, a passenger on a plane, who happened to be a sheriff in the local area, spotted a stranded motorist on the ground flashing an SOS signal and was able to alert the local law enforcement to rescue him. What they wouldn't know is the motorist, Alan Lee Phillips, was stranded because he had just finished murdering 2 hitchhikers, Annette Schnee and Barbara Jo Oberholzer, and dumping their bodies in the wilderness. It took familial DNA to solve the case in the end, but the odds of that sheriff seeing him from the plane during the storm and rescuing him from the trouble he got into perpetrating heinous crimes and being able to connect that event 40 years later blew my mind completely. One story where the killer was caught by sheer coincidence is the case of serial killer Gary Ridgway, also known as the Green River Killer. In the 1980s and 1990s, Ridgway murdered at least 49 women in the Pacific Northwest region of the United States. In 2001, Ridgway was arrested after a chance encounter with detectives. At the time, he was working as a truck painter and had been pulled over for a traffic violation. During the stop, the detectives noticed that Ridgway matched the description of the Green River Killer and decided to administer a polygraph test. Ridgway ultimately failed the test, and DNA evidence collected at the scene of one of the murders later linked him to the crimes. Ridgway ultimately pleaded guilty to 48 counts of murder and was sentenced to life in prison. His case is considered one of the most heinous in American history, and it was his sheer bad luck of being pulled over for a traffic violation that ultimately led to his capture.